Have you ever paused to ponder how race and power structures intersect and impact society? This is the fundamental question that critical race theory, or CRT, seeks to answer. To understand CRT, imagine a vast, intricate web. Each strand represents an element of society, from education and politics to law and media. At the intersections of this web, where multiple strands converge, we find the dynamics of race and power. CRT originated in the mid-70s among legal scholars and activists who recognized that traditional approaches to civil rights law were not enough to eradicate systemic racism. They proposed that racism is not a series of isolated incidents, but rather it is ingrained in the very fabric of our society. The first key concept of CRT is the idea of intersectionality. This term, coined by Kimberlé Crenshaw, means that various forms of inequality often operate together and exacerbate each other. For instance, a black woman's experience with racism may be compounded by sexism, creating a unique form of discrimination. The second principle is the permanence of racism. Derek Bell, a pioneering figure in CRT, argued that racism is a permanent, indelible feature of society and not an anomaly to be eradicated. This doesn't mean that progress isn't possible, but rather, it cautions against the assumption that racism can be easily eliminated. Lastly, the notion of whiteness as property is another cornerstone of CRT. Cheryl Harris introduced this concept, suggesting that societal privileges associated with whiteness have tangible value and are protected, similar to property rights. But like any theory, CRT has its critiques. Some argue that it overly focuses on race, thereby ignoring other forms of discrimination. Others worry that it promotes division rather than unity by emphasizing differences. And some question its core premise, arguing that racism is not as pervasive as CRT suggests. So to recap, CRT is a theoretical framework that examines society through the lens of race and power. It proposes that racism is systemic and introduces concepts like intersectionality and whiteness as property. However, it has been met with criticism for its focus on race and its core assumptions about the pervasiveness of racism. In the end, CRT is one of many lenses through which we can view and analyze our society. It challenges us to question our assumptions, broaden our perspectives, and confront the often uncomfortable realities of systemic racism. Whether we agree with all its tenets or not, engaging with CRT can deepen our understanding of the complex interplay between race, power, and society.